Welcome to Friendeavor, the podcast, the weekly podcast where we explore the highs and lows of friendship with your hosts, Danielle and Kayla.
As we journey through life, our friendships often evolve and change, ebb and flow, and sometimes even come to an end. Danielle and I are lifelong advocates for the power of friendship, and we are here to guide all of us through the many challenges and joys that come with building and maintaining strong, meaningful connections with those around us.
Join us each week as we deep dive into the intricacies of friendship, from navigating conflicts to fostering new relationships and everything in between. With insightful interviews, personal anecdotes, and expert advice, Friendeavor is the perfect podcast for anyone looking to strengthen their bonds with the people they love.
So, whether you are on the go, taking care of chores, or just settling in, get ready to explore the world of friendship on Friendeavor, the podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Friendeavor, the podcast. I'm your host, Danielle. This is your one-stop shop for all things needed about friendship and growing together, strengthening your connections, strengthening your bonds, and learning how to be a good friend. I am so appreciative that you decided to stop by this week. As you know, our schedule is a little bit different this season just because of different seasons of life Kayla and I are both in, and we really appreciate your continued support as we grow ourselves. I'm a firm believer that every life experience, life moment is a good lesson that can be learned for yourself. And then in our case, whatever we learned, we try to pass on to you guys because our goal is helping each other and helping you strengthen your bonds with the people that you love. Before we dive into today's episode, I actually have a prayer request for you guys. If you think to take this to the Lord, I would be very appreciative. The last couple of days, something has been happening with my jaw, my right jaw, or the right side of my jaw. I don't know what it is. Don't know why it's started. It's been very, very sudden and it's quite painful. And I would much rather the Lord take care of it because I know He is well able than to, seek out any medical help. And obviously I will do that if it continues and if I need to. But I fully believe that God is able and that He is willing. And the Bible is full of examples of Him healing and promises that tell us, that He took the stripes on His back for our healing. So if you wouldn't mind taking a moment in the next few days or whenever you have a chance and just saying a prayer, because that is something that I've been dealing with. And I don't want it to become a lasting thing. I do a lot of talking for my job. Obviously, I do a lot of talking here in the podcast. I am a worship leader at my church. And, of course, who doesn't like to eat? You got that element too. And it's actually most painful when I eat and when I am trying to close my mouth. So anyways, if you have a moment, I would really appreciate that. And that actually leads me to introduce a new segment of Friendeavor, the podcast. If you have a prayer request, we've built up quite a community here of believers and people who want to learn how to strengthen themselves and how to strengthen their friendships. And I think that people would be willing to take your need to the throne room if you are someone who is in need. So you can email us, friendeavorpodcast@gmail.com. And if you want us to share your prayer request, or if you just want it to be something that Kayla and I pray for, let us know. But if you want us to take it before the Friendeavor family, we would be happy to do that as well. This week, we are diving into the topic of adventuring together, the strengthened bonds of a shared experience. It's something that we've talked about a lot throughout, just mentioning it. And when Kara was on, she talked about when you're traveling the world, the connections you make. This week, I want to hone in a little bit closer to home about adventuring together, exploring together, and what that could mean for your friendship. So first and foremost, memories are created when you explore together with your friends. I don't care if that is just in your hometown or if it is in a new place, in the country, wherever you are. Memories are made anytime that you are together in a unique way for an extended amount of time, especially when you have a shared activity. You are going to create memories. You are going to strengthen your bond. You will learn more about people in those contexts than you would in just a normal everyday situation. You might be facing challenges in those situations, like perhaps you get lost or you're trying something new, you're doing an activity together. It just builds that trust. And this might seem like a weird term to use for this kind of topic, but teamwork. not necessarily teamwork like, oh, we are team strengthening our teamwork to help our company and camaraderie, no, but just like the ability to connect and work together in a different way. You are going to strengthen your bonds through shared experience. You of course have the joy of discovery, the joy of trying something new, finding something new, and then your memory is always associated of that place and that time with the person you're with. So the joy of discovery is better together. Exploring with a friend allows for that shared excitement, laughter, and fresh perspective. You always have the the difference of personalities as well. Like if you are exploring with a bigger group, maybe 7 to 10 people, or a smaller group, depending, whatever it is, the difference of personalities, especially if they're not like your tight knit group. If you're going and trying something new, I know a lot of small youth groups travel together to conferences or whatever to do things, and you're building memories and connections between you guys by doing that. And so the different personalities can bring unique insights and make the experience that much richer. Personally, when I actually, even now, if I'm being honest, but it was worse when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I did not like going places with groups. I didn't like it. I didn't like all piling up in a church van and going somewhere. I didn't like, I don't know. I honestly don't know why, because who wouldn't want, like, oh yeah, we're all going to LA for New Year's and don't you want to go? No, I did not want to go. I couldn't really put my finger on why I didn't want to go. Thankfully, I didn't get pressured into doing something I didn't want to do, and it worked out anyways. But that was just something that was not appealing to me. And then as I grew older, I realized that that's probably because I wasn't my best self with those people. It wasn't a bad situation, but I didn't feel like I could be myself. I didn't feel a bond with them. Now that I've developed the friendships that I have, and then of course with the sisterhood, we do things together all the time. And if they wanted to go somewhere for New Year's, I would be down in a heartbeat. And I don't think that's just because of my age. I think that is because I am most comfortable outside of my family with those girls. So when you find your niche, your group of people, or just people you're comfortable with, sometimes people are comfortable traveling with 10, 15 people and all chipping in together and having that shared experience. Personally, that's not my thing. That's just me. But exploring and bonding and exploring together can also encourage your personal growth and your confidence, because friends push each other out of their comfort zone in a safe way, in a safe and supportive way. A true friend will encourage you to do something new, to try something new in a safe way that is not going to go against what you believe or put you in any sort of danger, of course. But you have that element of personal growth and confidence that you might not get with the average experience in your norm. You also have, and this is probably one of my favorite aspects of this, is those deep conversations and understanding. There is nothing like a road trip conversation. You're an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours in, and you've run out of whatever you were doing, and the tide might just turn and you get to talk about deeper things. There's nothing but time on those road trips. And so the time spent exploring just allows for deeper connections without the distractions of routine life. If I'm going over to my friend's house and I'm like, oh man, I really need to leave by 10 because I got to work, and I got to keep that in mind. Well, on a planned excursion, when I'm out and about, when I'm doing something else, I have the freedom from the typical everyday life burdens. So then I can just focus on what I'm doing, focus on having fun, focus on connectivity. It also gives you the opportunity to see how your friend reacts to new experiences and gives insights into their personality and values. And you can learn from them and how they respond to things. This is the other piece of my favorite aspect of it. You got the deep conversations, but also creating inside jokes and lasting memories. You cannot manufacture an inside joke. I don't really know how to say it other than that. People, they want to be a part of that kind of stuff, and they'll just like, oh man, I wish I had that connection with people. Those things come about so naturally. It's not something that you can just create on your own. But when the stars align, so to speak, and you find yourself with that, I cannot even tell you how many inside jokes, like if you want to call it that, with my friends, we call them references. When we're referencing this, we're referencing Odyssey, or we're referencing a meme or a shared experience or whatever, and we got our reference game. But really what it is inside jokes and those lasting memories. You can have them be tangible memories. We collect postcards wherever we go and send them to each other, or at least put them together in the same spot, even if we don't mail them from where we were. But the more you explore together, you'll have those tangible memories and those intangible ones, just the actual thoughts and the pictures and stuff of that time spent together. But the more you explore together, the more history you build into your friendship. The more you can point to that place and say, that is where that happened. That is when that happened. And it's not all good experiences. Not everything that's happened in my friendship has been a good memory. But if we didn't have those moments of tension or moments of unpleasantness, we would not learn about each other to the level that we know each other. And now you know for the next time, hey, don't find yourself in that situation. Make sure that there's enough this for that. Make sure there's blah, 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 whatever. That's all a part of strengthening your friendship. We get told, both my family and my friend group get told a lot, like, oh, I've never thought of doing that. We've never considered that. Oh, that looks like so much fun. And we don't post our stuff on Instagram or whatever just to rub it in people's faces. We're just sharing our lives. We're just sharing, like, why does people post anything at all? It's to share it. It's to create a memory book, so to speak, of their lives. But it also serves unintentionally to inspire people or make them envious. I hope that's not the case, but sometimes it is. Hopefully just to inspire them, like, oh, I've never even thought about doing that. I should do that sometime. I think personally, and this is kind of where this all boils down to. Well, I shouldn't say boils down to this because it's not really the main point of this episode, but it is something that I think is worth considering. I think that I'm talking to you. I don't even know who you are, who is listening right now, but I think that you should become the expert of your state, of your country, wherever you are. We have been blessed to reach into, I think we're up to 15 countries where the podcast has been listened to, and I'm very appreciative to our international audience. But for those of us in the States, I think that I don't care if you're in the most landlocked state in the United States, there is natural beauty in all 50 of these United States. I think that you should become the expert on your state. If your means do not allow you at this stage to travel internationally or go on big fancy road trips or do whatever, go to resorts with your friends, I think that you and your friend group should set out to become the most knowledgeable people about your state. Go find the cutest small town. Go find the most random camping grounds. Do you have the world's largest soda can? Go to that. Go explore. Go try something new. Create those lasting memories. The state of California has got so many things in it. It is almost inquantifiable. Not even sure if that's a word. I mean to say quantify. Maybe it's unquantified. I should look that up. For our purposes now, you can't count it. There's so many things. They're innumerable. And I and my family have explored a lot of it where native Californians haven't. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I just think that they should. Like, especially when you don't have the means. If you don't have the means to go other places and try, what might seem like the exotic thing to do, find places that you can go and explore right now. What's the biggest body of water in your state? Do you live in Michigan? Go to all 5 of the Great Lakes. Go to Mackinac Island. Go to Detroit. Go to wherever. Go to museums. Go to presidential libraries. Go to campgrounds. Go try something new. There's always something you haven't done. Okay, and let's say that you become the expert on the state of Arkansas. and you're done. You've gone to hot springs, you've gone to the national park. I think that's the Hot Springs National Park. You've done it all. You've toured the Capitol. Okay, scoot on over to Missouri. Explore that one. There's not really an excuse, is what I'm getting at, is that there's something you could always be doing with your friends if you wanted to put in the effort and the time, and maybe at this stage, lower the bar a little bit. Maybe you can't go spend 2 weeks in Europe, but you can become a strengthened friend group with shared experience, lasting memories, inside jokes, all the stuff that is kind of like that picture perfect friend group if you're just willing to go do it. Stop making excuses. I'm supposed to be having dinner with a friend this week. We have not gotten it on the calendar, but it is going to be this week, and I need to text her because I don't want this week to go by after we just said, hey, let's have dinner this week. I'm trying to get better about that. I want it to happen this week because we said it would happen this week. What does that mean? Well, that's just something that I'm trying to do. Once I say I want to do something, I want to do it. So instead of saying, oh, we should do this sometime, we should do that sometime, go do it. Go do it. Get one friend, get 5 friends, get your youth group, get a chaperone, go explore, do something, have a shared experience, and maybe it'll be a hidden gem, or maybe it'll be a bust, and you'll have that memory of the busted trip. I just heard a story last night about this set of couples, these 2 sets of couples went on a trip together, and they paid for a private tour. Did not realize what they were getting into, and it was one of the worst tours of their lives, but it was a hilarious story, and they will always have that memory. The more you travel, the more you explore, the more bonds you make, the better you'll get at it. You'll learn new things, and then you'll just be all the while strengthening your friendships and growing yourself, which is what we're all about here at Friendeavor. Thank you so much for stopping by this week, and if you took the time to pray for me, I really, really, really appreciate it. And again, if you have a need that you'd like to have other people pray for, please reach out. We'd love to bind with you in prayer over that need. Thank you so much for stopping by. Next episode, Kayla will be back, and we'll see you then. God bless. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Friendeavor the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you enjoyed today's content, leave a review and share with a friend. You can find the show notes on our website, www.friendeavor.net, and in the description of this episode.
Friendship is a journey. It's an endeavor. We'll see you next time on Friendeavor.